All right, guys, so this really is going to be the last video, I guarantee it. I have been working on this all day, and I know you guys are tired, so we're almost done. All right, so we ended up being on 19B. So 19B says your friend Leona is planning to run her first 10-kilometer race in a few weeks. How many miles will she run if she completes the race? Well, on the previous screen, we used this conversion earlier. 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. So 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. So we want to know, what about one kilometer? How many miles is 1 kilometer? So we would take our 1 mile and we would divide it by 1.61 to find out how much exactly is 1 kilometer. So 1 divided by 1.61 is 0.6211 miles. Oops. Stop it. Miles. So 1 kilometer. So now we're thinking, okay, if 1 kilometer is equal to 0.6211 miles, and we want to go 10 kilometers, then we're simply going to multiply this number times 10, and multiply by 10 moves your decimal one place to the right. So 10 kilometers is equal to 6.211 miles. Okay, so we took this measurement, this conversion that was given to us, we kind of turned it around and wanted to know, okay, we know how much kilometers go with 1 mile, but how many miles is exactly 1 kilometer? So we had to divide. This is our division problem. And then that's per kilometer. So then to get 10 kilometers, we multiplied our miles times 10. So our final answer is 6.21 miles is equal to 10 kilometers. All right, so let's look at letter C. A roll of Christmas wrapping paper is 3 meters long. How long is this in yards? So one of our conversions on one of our tables gives us that 1 meter is equal to 1.094 yards. And this is giving us 3, so 3 meters. That just means we're simply multiplying our number of yards times 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1, 28, 2, 3, and then we have 3 numbers behind the decimal. So the final answer is 3.282 yards. That's how long our wrapping paper is in yards. Alrighty. Letter D, convert 10 milliliters to cups. Now we had another problem very similar to this. If you look back at example 17, we used 2 conversions that they gave us. The first version, one of the first conversions that we've been given is that 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. And then the second conversion that they give us that we used on example 17 is that 1 liter is equivalent to 1.1 quart. Now the reason we need both of these conversions is because here we go from milliliters to cups. Well, here's our milliliters to liters. And then if we can get liters to quarts, we know that there are 4 cups for every quart, okay? So the first thing we want to do is turn our milliliters into liters. So since it takes 1,000 milliliters to make 1 liter, we don't have 1,000 milliliters, we have 10 milliliters. So we're going to divide our 10 milliliters by our 1,000. And that tells us that 10 milliliters is the same. If I divide this, guys, I get 0.01 liters. So 10 milliliters is the same as 0.01 liters. Well, for every 1 liter, we have 1.1 quarts. Well, we don't have quite 1 liter, but we have 0.01 liters. So we're going to multiply 0.01 times our quart conversion, which is 1.1. So we're multiplying 0.01 times 1.1 to turn it into quarts. And I did that on my calculator. And that tells me that 0.01 liters is equal to 0.011 quarts. So now I can turn quarts into cups because there's 4 cups per quart. So however many quarts I have, to find out how many cups that is, I just multiply by 4. So I have 0.011 quarts times 4 cups per quart. So my final answer, if I multiply this in my calculator, my final answer is 0.44 cups. That's my final answer. And like I said, that was similar to example 17 a couple of slides ago, or just our last slide. So now you've seen 2 of those, 2 examples of those types of problems. All right, so the last slide I've sent you is 2 problems that I got that are very similar to what you'll see on next Monday's test. So make sure you practice these, you look at your notes, and that you feel comfortable with these. All right, so we're given a rate of 35 inches per second. So Jack is walking 35 inches per 1 second. And we want to convert this to feet per minute. So let's start with 35 inches per 1 second. And then we want to think, okay, so how do we get from seconds? What do we know about the relationship between seconds and minutes? Well, there are 60 seconds to make 1 minute. So to convert these seconds right here to minutes, we're going to multiply by 1 because we want an equivalent ratio. So the only way to multiply the bottom by 60, but to make this equal 1, is to multiply the top by 60 because we want an equivalent ratio. That means that we want even though our numbers are going to be different, they're going to simplify to be the same value, okay? So the only way you can multiply a number by a number and get what you started with is multiply by 1. Well, the reason we're multiplying by 60 is because we know there's 60 seconds in 1 hour. So now that we have multiplied 1 times 60, we know that 60 seconds is 1 minute. So we have converted our seconds to 1 minute. So on the top, we got 35 times 60 inches. Whoop, my calculator was off. 35 times 60 is now 2,100 inches. Well, we don't want inches, do we? We want feet. So now what are we going to do? How are we going to turn this into feet? Well, the only way to do that is to divide by 12. And our 2,100 divided by 12 is 175. 175 feet per minute. 175 feet per minute, which is the same way of writing it like we did up here. Okay, so that's the same rate. 35 inches per second is the same as saying 175 feet per minute. So basically the first thing one of the things you have to do is you have to convert your seconds to minutes. The only way to do that is multiply by 60. And then the way to get from inches to feet, since there's 12 inches in 1 foot, we have to divide our inches by 12 and we get 175 feet. Okay. All right, look at letter B. If Jack drove 72 feet per second, what was his rate in miles per hour? Miles per hour, round to the nearest hundredths. All right, so we have 72 feet per 1 second. All right, so we're going to go from feet to miles, and we're going to go from seconds, not to minutes, but to hours. All right, so the first way to get from seconds to minutes is to multiply by 60, right? Well, okay, so if I multiply by 60, I get 72 times 60 is 4,320 over 60 seconds, which is equal to 1 minute. But that's not even what we want, is it? We want hours. So how many, if that's for 1 minute, how many minutes are in an hour? So once again, we're going to multiply by 60 again, because we want to convert these seconds to, this 1 minute, so now it's 1 minute, to an hour. Well, so we converted our 60 seconds to 1 minute, so 1 times 60 is 60 minutes, which is now 1 hour. And then 4,320 times 60 is, big number, 259,200 feet per hour. But we don't want feet, now we want miles. So now we need to know, okay, so how many feet are in 1 mile? So how many feet are in 1 mile? The conversion is that there's 5,280 feet for 1 mile. So what are we going to do with all of these feet right here? We're going to divide it by 5,280. So now our math problem is 5,259,200 divided by 5,280. And what is that in my calculator? 259,200 divided by 5,280. And the answer is about 49.09 miles per hour. That's the answer. Whoops. Well, darn it. Anyway. Well, I deleted the whole thing. So anyway, hopefully you saw that last answer. The final answer was 49.09 miles per hour. So you want to work on, make sure that whatever your denominator is, you want to convert it to the other measurement. So from seconds to minutes, that's why we multiplied everything by 60 to start with, and then we took care of our minutes, and then we had to convert inches to feet. And then for the second one, we had to convert seconds to hours. So basically there's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So we ended up multiplying both of these numbers by 3,600 because we multiplied by 60 and then 60 again, which is 3,600. And then the last thing we had to do is convert those feet to miles by dividing by 5,280, because that's how many feet are in 1 mile. Okay, so I didn't mean to rush that last one, but anyway, look at those, look at how we worked them out, and hopefully that'll help you for your test next week. So if you guys have any questions or you need me for anything, please call or text me, and we will have a review on Monday. So all of your homework for Unit 4 for your homework and you have 2 homework assignments and 2 quizzes. All of that is due by Monday by 6 o'clock. So Monday is, what is that date for Monday? The 13th. So all of Unit 4's homework and quizzes are due by Monday the 13th. We'll meet live at 6 o'clock on Monday, and then you guys will start your test at 7. Okay? All right. Well, I hope everyone has a good night. I'll see you guys later.